Hey fish fans, it's Raina with the pink hair. I'm still loving it, still enjoying it. I apologize, I had to film a few of these videos in a row so that we had time. Sean and I are really busy at our day jobs right now, so we're not having the time to dedicate to the stuff that we would like. That being said, we've been taking loads and loads of videos, making loads of notes so that we are gonna have tons of stuff. We just have to get the time to edit it, but we have some awesome content for you. I've got my little merman over here with me. Doesn't he look like Frenchie? I love him. So today I want to tell you about my BFF in the mermaid world, Mermaid Mimi. Her real name is Rebecca, and we met using a website called Kijiji, which is Canada's version of Craigslist. It was 9 or 10 years ago, after I'd been doing mermaiding on my own for a little bit, but only doing gigs a handful of times a year. And then I was ready. It was my first summer in 2010, I think it was, that I decided I was like, okay, I want to do this all summer. So I put this ad out. I got all this crazy attention. I got on the front page of the paper with this terrible blonde hairdo and my tail that was falling apart. I got on the news. They filmed me. I could barely swim in the thing. I got on the radio. It was really crazy. And it all started because I posted this Kijiji ad. And at that time, nobody was doing mermaiding. So it was very new, big novelty, big thing in Canada, huge deal. And then I saw a post for another mermaid. And I was, no, this can't be real. I'm supposed to be the first. This is my thing. And I really thought about it. I had reached out to a princess company to see if they wanted me to be Ariel, and they weren't interested, and they were actually kind of rude in their message back to me. So I was nervous to reach out to this woman because I thought she'd be rude too. But I reached out and I was, yay, I see that you're a mermaid and I'm a mermaid too, and just maybe we could get together sometime. So she was kind of cautious as well. We added each other on Twitter. We talked for a while. We talked back and forth. And I saw that the tail that she was swimming in was falling apart. My tail was falling apart too, but it was a bit of a step up from hers. So when I got my Marbella's tail, I just thought, you know what? I'm going to start this friendship off on the right foot. And I contacted her and I said, hey, I've upgraded my tail. I'm not going to use this one again. Do you want it? You can just have it because it is a bit of a mess. It needs some work and you'll probably need to make it longer or whatever. But I just, I see that you sew. I see that you do this stuff online. So why don't you just have it? So we added each other on Facebook, and she walked to my home for 2 hours in the snow because the buses weren't running. And she came to get this tail. So I gave her the tail. We became friends. It was awesome. For a while, we worked independently, but I started to get more bookings than I could take on. So I would throw her things and she would throw me things. Or I'd get sick and be like, hey, did you want to do this gig for me? And she'd be like, sure, do you want to do this gig for me? I started mentoring my sister. She started mentoring Mermaid Nessie, who we've done a video about before. So we're both kind of coming up, and I never really felt that we were competing at all. I felt that it was a partnership. So finally, I said to her, do you want to join this with me? Why don't we join forces and do this together? And she did. So we had her, my sister, Mermaid Nessie, and one of our old mermaids, Nada, and we formed Halifax Mermaids. And it just took off from there. So Mimi is named Mimi after her grandmother. She took that name from her grandmother. And the tail color designs that she chose were from a painting that was inspired by a painting that her sister made her. So Mimi is American, and she moved here for school, and she met Mark, who I went to high school with. And we didn't meet each other through Mark. We met each other completely through mermaid stuff. So it wasn't until she introduced me to Mark that we were, hey, I know you, you know me. Mark and I actually found out that his parents and my aunt and uncle grew up together as well and knew each other, and that Mark and I probably met as children as well. So that was kind of wild. Our friendship is growing, it's amazing, and then she and Mark get married, and Mimi invites me to be a bridesmaid in her wedding, and I had the best time, and I kept calling her Mimi at the wedding, and people were like, who the heck is Mimi? I'm just so used to it. So Mark and Mimi have a boat because Mark has a mooring business, and they take us out on their boat all the time, and we go to this island called Clam Island in St. Margaret's Bay. And Mimi and I just have so much fun. Mimi has a daughter now, and I got to watch Mimi be pregnant. I did photos of her in the aquarium while she was pregnant, and oh my god, this is just to show you like what kind of person Mimi is. When she was pregnant, we were sitting on a dock, and she was a high-risk pregnancy, but that week her doctor gave her the okay to go back to swimming. He says, okay, you're over this now. We think everything is safe, so you can go swimming and stuff again. So she'd spent most of the 9 months, this was in August, and she was due in September, and she'd spent most of this not being able to do much. So we were so excited to go swimming. And we had another mermaid visiting from the States, and so we're swimming, we're having fun. She's in a fin fun tail because she couldn't fit in the silicone one at the time. She's pregnant, we're sitting on the dock, and this boy jumps into the water, and then his brother jumps on top of him, and he's totally drowning. Mimi jumps in without a second thought. She's pregnant, she's in the fabric tail. She lifts this boy out like jaws of life because he's 16 and that dock is way above us, and she just boosts him right out and saves his life. And she got the life-saving award for doing it from the people who regulate the lifeguards. So that was kind of crazy. So that's just how great she is. Mimi and I also have a million things in common. It's really ridiculous. I keep joking that we need to make a little book about it, about all the things we have in common, because we keep talking to each other and then all of a sudden we realize something, and it's just funny. She really feels to me like a sister that I always needed. Mimi's tail was not great. So when I retired my first Merbella's tail because it was completely full of mold, we cut the body off, we sent the fluke to Merbella's, and they remade the body. And it took us about 2 years, I think, to get it back. It wasn't the best when we got it back. I had a falling out with Merbella's. I didn't realize I had a falling out with them at first. Then there was a pretty obvious falling out, and maybe I'll do a video about that later. I don't want to cause any drama, but I would appreciate it if people stop messaging me about their orders, because I don't work for them. I never have. So sidebar. So yeah, we got this tail, and it was all right, but it was kind of slapped together, and it was really big on her. The measurements were way off, and the paint job was not really up to par with what they normally do, so we were a little disappointed. But Mimi made it work, and she loves it, and she uses it constantly, and you know, it breaks, she repairs it, she does whatever she needs. Mimi is so talented underwater, and she's not afraid of the cold. This woman is getting into the water when it's freezing out. Even when there's ice, she goes for swims. She loves searching for stuff. She did the freediving course with us. She's got her daughter in the water all the time. It's just like we have so much fun, and she is one of these people where I feel like I can be my true self. I don't have to be the boss, you know, because I see us as equals in the company. She's my right-hand man kind of thing. When I'm away, Mimi takes over everything. Also, I have a lot of my own little issues that I'm always trying to censor and make sure that I'm doing my best when I'm around people. And with Mimi, I don't have to be like that. She never gets offended when I mess up on something because of my ADD or whatever. She was really there for me when my mom died. She showed up to my house with heart-shaped rocks that she had found that she felt were messages from my mom. And she brought me a heather plant because my mom's name was Heather. She knows Mother's Day is really hard for me, so she'll do something for me on Mother's Day. And one year I had to miss Canadian Thanksgiving, which is my favorite holiday, but it's a whole month before American Thanksgiving. And since I missed it, Mimi showed up on American Thanksgiving with this whole Thanksgiving plate for me. It was amazing. She's just such a kind and wonderful human being and mermaid, and she's so talented. When I do gigs with her, I'm inspired to do better. She'll do things, and we really play off each other well. You see us doing the tank shows all the time. She is a trooper. She never complains. We do a lot of the big corporate gigs together, and we do photo shoots and have fun. And so recently we tried to get some underwater photos of her. We're learning underwater photography. Our gear, it's a step up from a GoPro, but it's not much until we can get some strobes and some bigger lenses, so we're still quite confined with what we're doing. So you know what, it was okay. We got some decent photos of her underwater with her tail. I'd like to get more. But really, I just love her, and she's amazing, and you should totally follow her on Facebook. She's Mermaid Mimi on Facebook. On Instagram, she's Reb Marriott, and stands for Rebecca, so REBMARRIOTT, Reb Marriott. So you can find her there, and on Twitter, she's Oceanbound Mer. And she's just a lovely human being. She inspires me all the time, and I'm so thankful. So this is a lesson to you. Sometimes you think people are going to be competition, and if you don't take that chance of testing the waters to see what they're like, you could be missing out on a lifelong friend. And Mimi is my lifelong friend. We joke all the time about how we're going to be old ladies and still being mermaids, and we're going to like go to the same senior home and tell people stories about mermaiding. So I just love her, and she deserves all the best things in the world, and anything that I can do to make her life better, I will do it because she does that for me. And it's just really beautiful to have a friendship like that. And I've got lots of different videos of Mermaid Mimi. You can look back to when she was pregnant in 2015 and you can see the videos that we did of her underwater in the aquatron. It's so crazy. She's just so amazing. And she's not afraid of seaweed at all. She puts it on her head. A couple of weeks ago, we went to this waterfall and we were getting stuff, and she was putting leaves and stuff all over her chest to try to disguise her bra. It was so funny. We just have so much fun, and they really inspire me as parents too. And if Sean and I ever get to be parents, they would definitely be godparents, because I couldn't imagine anybody raising my own kid for me the way that they would, because they're just so awesome. So that's my little love letter to Mermaid Mimi. So thank you for checking it out. If you would like some resources on how to become a professional mermaid, or even just to get started in mermaiding, check me out at patreon.com/RainaMermaid, where as little as $2 a month gets you all of this access. Please like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to get notified. Check us out on Instagram and all our other social media. Best fishes!